How's it going, everybody? Welcome in to another episode of Mavs Step Back Podcast. I'm your host, Dalton Trigg. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Drew Johnson. You can find both of us on Twitter at Dalton_Trigg. You can find my guy, Drew, at Coach Drew33. Today, we have a very special guest for you guys. We've already spoke with the Mavs' first-round pick in this last draft, Derek Lively. The second a few weeks ago. Now the guy that the Mavs traded for the 24th pick, Olivier-Maxence Prosper, otherwise known as OMax. We have him on the pod today. Have a lot of good stuff to talk about with him. So let's get this thing rolling.
Finds Hardaway. Maneuvers away from the closeout. Luka maneuvers away from the closeout. And that is about the best dunk we've ever seen out of Luka. This is a holy moment right here.
It's real nice.
Been a timeout call, but we ain't going nowhere. We're going to let you look at this again a time or two. Look at that face.
Hi, this is Luka Doncic, and you're listening to the Mavs Step Back Podcast.
All right, so OMax, I know you've been a Dallas Maverick for a little while now, but we would like to formally, on our behalf, welcome you to the Mavericks, and we are very pleased that things worked out the way they did on draft night. How have you been, acclimating yourself to being on the Mavericks, to the city? What's your vibe right now with this team?
Nah, man. First and foremost, I just want to say thank you. Thank you guys for having me on you guys' show. But nah, man, I've been acclimated real well. Been in Dallas for a few weeks now, trying to get settled in apartments, all that stuff. But it's been great, excited for, the next, training camp coming up and everything. But, the past few weeks have been great, just settling in, getting everything situated. So, yeah.
Have you been able to kind of, explore the city a little bit yet? Have you been able to find some good eating spots and all that, or has it still been such a rush that you haven't gotten into all that yet?
Honestly, it's been a rush lately. I've been just trying to go left and right, trying to buy furniture, buy different stuff left and right, get ready. But no, I definitely plan on exploring, the city and the greater area, Frisco, Plano, all around. Definitely looking forward to that.
Well, you're fresh off of, your first NBA Summer League, and, it kind of got off to a slow start because the trades hadn't gone through. So you and D-Live weren't able to practice with the team, but you eventually got to a point where you were, and you got your feet wet in Summer League and did pretty well for yourself too. Showed off some of the defensive versatility, showed off the ability to shoot, from deep and stuff like that. So overall, what was your experience like in Vegas and, getting used to your rookie teammates and the assistant coaching with Jared Dudley and the rest of the staff?
No, my experience was awesome. Just, my first time wearing a Mavs jersey, even though it's not officially, it's still summer league, it's still my first time wearing an NBA jersey, and it was great. The first couple games, trying to get my rhythm, find my rhythm, get to know how to play with, those guys and everything. And once we figured that out, we were rolling, and it was great. Yeah. Just being able to play my game, play defense, push the ball, knock down open shots, rebound, play with energy, and do all the little things. I was just in my element out there, and it was awesome to play on that stage, play against those teams, and just being in Vegas all around. It was really good. And Coach Dudley was great for us. Great coach. He was a great teacher. I was able to learn very quickly. Especially not having practice before a lot. He explained a lot of things to me and helped me on the fly of the game, and I just kept getting better and better each and every game. And that was a great experience for me.
Obviously, you came to us from Marquette University, mm-hmm. and it's a very storied program over there. Dwayne Wade came from there. But besides, your college journey, I don't think a lot of people know very much about your overall path, not only to Marquette, but to the NBA as well. Could you give us a little bit of insight on that?
Yeah. So I spent my sophomore year and junior year at Marquette, but before that, my freshman year I went to Clemson University. I went there for my freshman year and then transferred to Marquette. And prior to that, for my senior year of high school, I was at the NBA Academy Latin America down in Mexico City. So I've been around a little bit. And then actually before that, for my junior year, I was in a prep school in Chicago called Lake Forest Academy. So, I've been moving around, being a guy from Montreal, Canada, basketball over there it was growing up, it wasn't like where you were gonna find the most exposure or anything. So I needed to go somewhere else. And then after my sophomore year, I was like, I need to go. So I went to, prep school Chicago. Then I got the opportunity to play for the NBA Academy, went there, went to Clemson, Marquette, and now the NBA. So, and it's been a journey. It's been going all to those different places, but every place helped me grow and helped me mature, and I'm grateful for each and every one of those experiences, and they helped me shape who I am today.
Obviously, the NBA Academy Latin America, that was probably a big boost as far as like, getting your name out there and getting more recognition and everything. But, based on your previous high school experiences, was the competition level, heightened from what you were used to when you went to the academy?
Yeah, I mean, the competition at the academy was a lot higher than when I was previously. The academy, it's really you're playing with the best players all over the world that are not Americans, and it's basically, we there's multiple NBA academies around the world, and I was the one in Mexico, and at that time, they were travel all over the world playing best tournaments, travel to the States, playing great high school tournaments. Sometimes we would combine the best players from all the academies and, playing like really big time tournaments. Once we went to Barcelona and we were on a team. That was at the time where at the academy there was me, Benedict Mathurin, Josh Giddey, Dyson Daniels. All those guys are in the league now. So I was playing with great guys and great players. So like it really, helped me develop my game, helped me grow overall, and help push my game to the next level. And the exposure was great as well.
Well, next here, I want you to kind of walk us through your pre-draft process, because, you're putting in a ton of work, and, next thing you know, after the combine, where you shined, your draft stock kind of rocketed, and you made it into the late first round. And just kind of walk us through your pre-draft process, what that was like, maybe the moment you knew like, hey, this is a good possibility, I'm going to be a first round pick. And then talk about, your workouts and, some conversations you had with the Mavs beforehand. How likely did you think it would be that you ended up in Dallas?
Yeah. For the pre-draft, overall, coming out of Marquette, I wasn't at that time, I wasn't projected to be a first round pick or anything, but, going in, I was like, I'm going to go all in, and I believed in myself and my abilities. And, I was like, it doesn't matter what, the mock draft say now or whatever. I was like, I'm going to put in the work. So I went with my agency, went out to LA for a month and just straight up trained to get ready for the pre-draft, the workouts and the combine and all that stuff. And, I was like, I'm gonna go out there and I'll work and anybody that's in front of me. And, that's what I did. My mindset was, bet on myself, and going to the combine. That's what I did. And that's how I was able to have the performance that I had. And that's how I boosted my stock into those workouts. I did a total of 18 workouts. So I was traveling left and right, going city to city to help myself up. And I was like, I got to do what it takes. It takes what it takes. And no matter how tired I was or whatever, I did it. And when I came to the Mavs, just the way I got here, and then they received me really well. Went out to dinner with Nico and Michael Finley and all. So like they just really received me really well. And then the workout, I just came and outworked the people I was against. I just outworked everybody, and I was like, I'm gonna put the best chances on my side. Knowing I won't be perfect, but and then I outworked. I was loud. I was energetic. I did what I needed to do, and they really liked what they saw. And based on that, that's why they wanted to come back in the draft and trade for me. And whenever you never know who's watching or who really likes you, whatever in those workouts. But it's about just maximizing each opportunity. Each workout is an opportunity, and that was my mindset. And I'm glad they decided to come back and trade for me in this draft, and I'm glad to be here.
I'll let Drew. He'll go into. We have a question here that relates more to Derek Lively, your rookie teammate. But before we get into that, there was a thing that came out after you got drafted, and it was like Nico Harrison. Basically, I forget the exact quote, but he said something to the effect of, "I told you, OMax. I told you." Mm-hmm. What was that Nico Harrison? Did you know beforehand that this was going to happen, or at least that it was a very good possibility of happening?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I didn't know, but I knew Dallas really liked me. I knew they really liked my game, and I knew they if there's a possibility to get me, they were gonna push to get me. That I knew. So and I was coming into the after the workout, I was like, this is a place I could be. I really like the vibe I had from here and everything. So after he was when we had our conversations, during the pre-draft and when I came for the workouts and stuff, you could see Nico was really interested in me, and he really liked the type of player and person I was. So I wasn't surprised when he came when they drafted me and said, and he told me, I told you, OMax, and I was glad he made that happen. Yeah.
So, like Dalton said earlier, we interviewed your boy Derek Lively not too long ago, and he told us about the relationship that he had with Tyson Chandler and how Tyson Chandler's kind of taken him under his wing. Have there been any coaches or former Mavs players that have done the same for you?
Not former Mavs player yet, but honestly, just every coach that I've worked with so far, I've taken me under their wing and just always, helping me after we practice or whatever. They'll come up to me, talk to me, for a little bit. Any question I have, they listen, they answer everything. It's really, I wouldn't say a single person right now, but everybody's been really so open to helping me grow. Like Coach Dud, any coach really, all of them have been, Coach Sweeney, all of them have been just really helpful for me. And I've learned so much so far in just a short amount of time. And, I'm really grateful for them.
Well, I think I speak for everybody, with Mavs interest, if at some point, Sean Marion decides to come back and, give some pointers here and there, that would be pretty cool. So consider me as one for rooting for that.
If I think of former players, former players, I'd say probably Michael Finley. I mean, he's around a lot. So he's, another wing back in the day. So he's giving me a lot of pointers. So if I had to point out a former player, I would say him. He's been very helpful. Yeah.
Well, just speaking more broadly, about your game in general, are there some players that you've looked up to over the years growing up, working on your game? Maybe you've tried to model certain parts of your game after certain players. I mean, who are some guys you've looked up to over the years?
I mean, in terms of looking up to, I grew up a LeBron fan, so I was always LeBron since his Miami days, watching him play. So looking up to, I would say him. But model my game after, I try to take bits and pieces from different players, and a guy that I really liked, really like the way he plays. This guy for example, Mikal Bridges. I like the way he plays, a two-way player. Can knock down open shots, push in transition. With his length and size. Guys like Pascal growing up too, watching him play for the Raptors. I like that a lot. I'm just trying to, take bits and pieces from every player and just become the most complete player I can be overall. But starting with being a guy that can be a two-way player and play on both sides of the ball, defend the best player, and then a guy that can, push the ball, knock down open shots, and make the right play.
Yeah, I mean, being a two-way guy, being especially a rookie, coming in and giving that kind of effort on the defensive end, that's a good way to kind of ensure that you can get minutes from the jump there. And a lot of players when they come into the NBA, even if they have natural talent, natural skills, and everything, a lot of guys it takes them time to develop physically. And, everybody can improve in that area, but it seems, at least from my perspective, that, you're more ready physically than your typical, NBA rookie. Do you feel the same way coming into your first season in the NBA?
I do feel like I'm ready. And, especially spending 3 years in college, have prepared me a lot for that, being, more experienced through that than like your typical one and done, or a guy that, is really going to take pride in playing defense. Like you said, you come into this league, you play on a team with, Luka and Kyrie, like you ain't going to have the ball most of the time. So how can you come in and be a guy that, can earn minutes on the defensive end? And once you're on the floor, then that opens up everything else, offensively. So you got to find your niche and where, you can build minutes and, be in a rotation and then build yourself up from there. So that's my mindset going into it.
So the Mavs haven't had multiple first-round picks since the 1994 draft, whenever they selected your head coach, Jason Kidd, and Tony Dumas. For the first time in a long time, it seems, Dallas made a real effort to invest in a draft, and this one in particular. Why do you think they made the right decision going after both you and Derek Lively?
I think they made the right decision, first of all, because of the way we play this game. Me and Derek Lively, we play with a lot of energy, we play with effort, we leave everything on the floor. And looking at this team, I feel like that's something especially on the defensive end, was missing this past year. Guys that were come in and ready to do what it took, to get stops and to help and complement the star players. And me and Derek are very energetic guys. We're gonna talk a lot in the locker room. We're gonna build the culture up. We're gonna laugh. We're just gonna grow, and we're gonna help this team and complement this team as much as we can overall. And also, we have great length, great size. We're students of this game, and I feel like overall, as we continue to grow, each and every year, it's not just for this year, it's for long term down the line. I think we're gonna be able to create something special here in Dallas, and I think we're 2 additions that this team definitely needed.
I completely agree. I mean, I'm not going to get into making any kind of, record predictions or, how the season's going to turn out. But I think when you have guys like, stars at the top, like Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, and then you fill in around them like they have with yourself and Derek Lively and Grant Williams and, signs Seth Curry, and they just recently signed Derek Jones Jr. So, I mean, overall, I think the team is in a much better place than they were, 4 or 5 months ago, and I'm excited to see how it unfolds for you.
Absolutely.
Well, OMax, I've got one more question here for you, and we will let you get out of here. But, based on everything you've experienced so far, the pre-draft process, summer league, doing summer workouts with the Mavs now as you wait for training camp, what do you envision for yourself, heading into your rookie season as far as your role for this team? How big of an impact do you plan on making from day one?
I plan on having a significant impact. I want to come in and be a guy that's in the rotation and contributes to winning. That's my outlook for my season. A guy that that's coming in, that's asked to guard the best man on the other side, and the guy that's going to every game get better and improve and gain the confidence of his coaches and teammates, and then that's going to in the end be a big contributor to this team's success. That's the way I look at my season.
Well, OMax, look, we really appreciate you taking some time to talk with us today. It was great to finally, get to meet you and get to learn a little bit more about you. And, hopefully we can do this again sometime in the future. So we really appreciate it, man.
No, thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys. Nice meeting you guys, too.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Well, guys, that's going to do it for another episode of the Mavs Step Back Podcast. Be sure to go like, rate, and subscribe on all your favorite podcast platforms. And we will see you next time. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you, guys.